Wayne County's prosecutor said recently that if her office doesn't get more funding, some criminals may have to go free. Well, we have some bad news for the prosecutor tonight. They already are.
Judges need to err on the side of protecting the community, and sometimes I think they err on the side of protecting the criminal.
As we showed you last night, scores of convicted felons guilty of crimes as heinous as attempted murder are being given what critics say is a get-out-of-jail-free card. After being found guilty of felonies that would lock them away for years, many judges in Wayne County's Third Circuit Court continue these criminals' bond, their promise to come back. It gave them weeks, sometimes months more of freedom before they needed to report to prison. But instead of showing up, these criminals chose to run.
This is a convicted felon. You want that person to go straight from the court to jail to prison for a long time.
Ellis Stafford spent 23 years with the Michigan State Police, and today he's operations director at the Detroit Crime Commission, a nonprofit crime-fighting group made up of some of the state's top law enforcement officials. He says after a grueling trial, locking up a criminal should be the easy part.
It is hard to get people to come to court in a no-snitch mentality. And to get that witness to come forward, to give their statement in open court and be cross-examined. And you walk out, and at the end of the day, they're right back down the street from you. It's got to be demoralizing.
Stafford and others suspect that jail overcrowding is one reason county judges often continue bond after a conviction. And while jail space is at a premium, none of the judges we talked to for this story listed overcrowding as a reason for letting out criminals.
I don't think anybody can predict human behavior.
Judge Bruce Morrow continued the bond of Demetrius Edwards, found guilty of armed robbery. But instead of sending him straight to prison, he chose to continue Edwards' bond. Well, that same day, police say he shot and killed Sidell Leverett. We spoke with his sister today.
It didn't have to happen at all. This shouldn't have happened. And that's what hurts so bad. This young man has nothing to lose. Why would he care about the next man? And that man was my brother. That man was a son, a father. And now every day we have to live with this loneliness, this emptiness.
It's not just Leverett's family who's taking issue with Morrow's decisions. Earlier this year, the Judicial Tenure Commission accused him of letting out other criminals he shouldn't have.
I follow the law.
A man convicted of sexually assaulting a minor in Judge Vonda Evans' courtroom fled after she gave him bond. She released him with no objection from the prosecutor for another 6 weeks before sentencing. He never returned to a courtroom. But was Evans allowed to let him go in the first place? Take a look at this state statute. It says a defendant convicted of sexual assault of a minor shall be detained and shall not be admitted to bail. Were you aware of this statute? Because that one seems pretty clear. No, Evans told me later, she wasn't. Yesterday, she said by phone that had she read it, it would have impacted my decision. That's no comfort to the criminal's victim, who remembers the day she learned he was on the run.
I was very angry, and I started crying because I couldn't hold my anger in. I was just mad that they didn't care.
Well, yesterday, in response to what we have reported, Judge Evans sent me this statement. It reads, in every criminal case, judges are afforded great latitude and discretion regarding bond. We are now reviewing every case individually to assure that the victims' and defendants' rights are fully protected.
Now, Ross, the prosecutor spent a lot of time and money getting these people convicted. What is Kim Worthy, you mentioned her at the top, what is Kim Worthy saying about this report?
Well, we did hear from her about an hour ago. She said she expects all judges to follow the law, especially when it dictates mandatory sentences like it did in several of these cases we've told you about. She also said her own prosecutors will continue to vigorously object when judges decide to let out criminals who they believe should be locked up immediately.
All right, frustrates a lot of people and prosecutors. Ross, thank you for that.
Rightfully so.
Thank you.